Chuck, the future of the Logan Correctional Center in Lincoln is still unclear after a judge ordered the Stateville Correctional Center to close.
Sayla Estelle shares local reactions and more. Sayla.
Tyler and Janice, this past March, Governor Pritzker and the IDOC announced intentions to close the Lincoln facility and build a new facility on the Stateville grounds in Crest Hill. But now, Stateville has been ordered to close due to the aging building and what's been labeled as unsuitable conditions. The rebuild could take 3 years. This means Logan County crew will stay put, delaying the potential economic impact to Lincoln. Representative Bill Howder supports the facility staying in Lincoln as he believes job security would be at risk for those working at the prison.
We pull from, people, correctional officers, catering staff, all from the surrounding area and surrounding counties. So we really want to keep it in Logan County.
Senator Sally Turner is also for the prison to remain open, as she had economic concerns for the city of Lincoln if the facility moved.
And as you may know, we had the closure of Lincoln College just recently, which was devastating to our community. And prior to that, we had the closure of what was called Lincoln Developmental Center, and our community has never really gotten past that.
Both politicians say the families living near their incarcerated loved ones would be at risk as well. The Stateville prison could be evacuated and closed by the end of September. This doesn't mean the facility is safe forever. Logan Correctional Center remaining open is temporary until the Stateville rebuild is done. It is unsure where the Stateville Correctional Center will relocate, but it will be in a Chicago suburb.